Many aspire to lead, yet few understand the mind of a ruler. Why do some rise to command nations while others fail to command even themselves? Today, we uncover the psychology of true power, how to think, decide, and rule with purpose. 1. The nature of power. Power is the lifeblood of kingdoms, enterprises, and all human endeavors where influence determines survival. It is not bestowed by fortune, nor is it gifted by goodwill. It is seized, cultivated, and guarded by those who understand its nature. To think with power and purpose, one must first understand what power truly is, where it comes from, and how it flows through the veins of society. At its core, power is the ability to shape reality according to one's will, to bend circumstances and people toward a chosen end. Yet, it is not merely force or authority, it is the mastery of perception, timing, and decision-making. Those who believe that birthright, wealth, or luck grant enduring strength are mistaken. Such advantages may open doors, but without the mind to wield them, they vanish like mist under the sun. A throne means nothing if the one seated upon it lacks the intellect to hold it. Human nature lies at the foundation of power. People are driven by fear, hope, and desire, and these impulses shape the rise and fall of rulers. To command others, one must first understand what moves them. Fear is the quickest path to obedience, yet it breeds resentment if handled without skill. Hope inspires loyalty, but it can falter if not rewarded with results. Desire, however, is the most dangerous, for it is endless and often leads to betrayal when unmet. The wise ruler studies these forces not to indulge them, but to channel them toward the stability of his domain. Perception plays an equally crucial role. Power is often less about what a leader truly possesses and more about what others believe he possesses. A ruler who appears decisive, capable, and unyielding will be regarded as strong even if his position is precarious. Conversely, a ruler who displays hesitation or weakness invites challenges from allies and enemies alike. Appearances must be crafted with care. Every word, gesture, and decision must project authority. Strength must be seen before it is tested. Yet power cannot rest on appearances alone. It must be secured through decisive action. A ruler must never be at the mercy of chance or the goodwill of others. Fortune may raise a man high, but it is his ability to act with purpose that determines whether he remains there. Opportunities must be seized swiftly, for hesitation allows rivals to gain ground. When the moment comes to strike, one must do so with precision and without apology. Mercy and generosity have their place, but they must be calculated, not impulsive, lest they weaken the foundation of command. History is filled with examples of rulers who rose to power through cunning rather than chance. They understood that alliances are tools, loyalty is purchased through strength, and fear, when balanced with respect, is a more reliable guardian than love alone. They did not confuse sentiment with strategy, nor did they trust in fate to protect their rule. Instead, they studied the hearts of men, anticipated their moves, and acted with unshakable resolve. To think with power is to think several steps ahead, never blinded by emotion, never lulled by comfort. Power also demands vigilance. What is won today can be lost tomorrow through complacency. The enemies of a ruler are not always those who stand outside his walls. Often, they are those who sit closest to him. Jealousy, ambition, and greed breed within the ranks of allies and courtiers, waiting for a moment of weakness to surface. A ruler who understands this truth watches not only his foes but also his friends, rewarding loyalty, while ensuring that no single hand grows strong enough to challenge his own. Balance must be maintained, rewarding merit without allowing independence to harden into defiance. Moreover, the wise ruler knows that power must evolve. The methods that secure a throne are not always the same as those that maintain it. Ruthlessness may bring victory, but governance requires the skill to convert fear into respect and respect into enduring order. The mind of power must be adaptable, shifting from war to peace, from conquest to consolidation, from ambition to preservation, without ever appearing uncertain or divided. It is a game played on many levels, where one misstep can undo years of careful strategy. To think with power and purpose is not to chase dominance for its own sake, but to wield influence with intention, shaping the world to reflect one's vision. Yet vision alone is not enough. it must be supported by discipline, cunning, and the courage to act when others hesitate. The nature of power is harsh, but it is also liberating to those who understand it. It strips away illusions of fairness and chance, revealing a simple truth. Those who dare to command must first dare to understand the laws that govern human behavior and the forces that sustain authority too. The dual mind of a ruler must live with two minds, one that wears the mask of virtue and another that calculates with cold precision. This duality is not a luxury, but a necessity for survival in a world where appearances often matter more than truth, and morality is a tool to be wielded rather than a chain to be obeyed. The nature of power demands a balance between what the world sees and what truly guides decisions, for a ruler who acts only with kindness is devoured by those who do not, while one who rules with open cruelty invites revolt. The public face of a leader must inspire loyalty, admiration, and trust. Subjects, allies, and rivals alike judge not only the ruler's strength, but also the image he projects. People crave the appearance of justice, mercy, and wisdom, even if they cannot fully define these qualities. A ruler who is seen as honorable gains a moral shield that deters rebellion and attracts loyalty, for men wish to believe they follow someone righteous. Yet, this display must be carefully constructed, for sincerity is less important than consistency. A single act of hypocrisy can expose the mask and unravel years of cultivated reputation. Behind the mask lies the second mind, the calculating mind, that sees the world not as it should be, but as it is. This mind understands that men are not naturally good, that promises are often broken when no fear enforces them, and that survival requires a willingness to act against sentiment when necessary. It measures not what is fair, but what is effective, not what is virtuous, but what secures power. It weighs risks and rewards with the cold clarity of a strategist who knows that one misjudged act of compassion can embolden an enemy, just as one unnecessary cruelty can harden hatred beyond repair. The art lies in knowing when to act with one mind and when to let the other guide decisions. There are moments when mercy strengthens a ruler's hold, when forgiveness wins loyalty that fear alone cannot inspire. Yet, there are times when decisive severity preserves order, reminding all that disobedience carries a price too high to bear. The dual-minded ruler does not choose mercy because it is virtuous, nor cruelty because it is necessary. He chooses whichever secures the future of his domain with the least risk to his throne. A crucial aspect of this duality is emotional discipline. The ruler must never allow his heart to dictate policy. Anger, pride, and personal grievances must be subdued beneath reason. The calculating mind asks not, "How do I feel?" but rather, "What serves the greater strategy?" A slight from an advisor may sting, but rash punishment may destabilize alliances. A betrayal from an ally may ignite rage, yet calculated reprisal may yield more than immediate vengeance. The public mind, meanwhile, must present such decisions as just, cloaking cold logic in the appearance of principle. This balance extends beyond action to communication. The words of a ruler must inspire confidence in his virtue, yet conceal the sharp edge of his strategy. Declarations of justice, unity, and prosperity must flow from his lips, even as his inner thoughts map the weaknesses of friend and foe alike. Those who hear him must believe in his fairness, even as he prepares for the inevitable moment when fairness must be set aside for survival. To master this art is to speak as though guided by ideals, while thinking as though guided by necessity. The dual mind also governs the ruler's alliances. Friends and allies must be embraced with warmth, yet never trusted beyond their usefulness. Promises may be given freely, for words cost nothing, but commitments must be kept only when they serve the ruler's long-term interests. Betrayal is to be expected, not lamented, for ambition is a force stronger than loyalty in most men. The ruler must therefore appear generous in friendship, while quietly ensuring that no ally grows strong enough to challenge him. In the end, the dual mind of a ruler is a weapon sharper than any blade. It allows him to navigate a world of deception, ambition, and danger while preserving the illusion of noble intent. It shields him from the chaos of raw emotion and the ruin of uncalculated virtue. It ensures that every gesture, every decision, every appearance serves not only the present, but the enduring strength of his reign. 3. The illusion of control. Power does not rely solely on possession. It thrives upon perception. The world rarely bows to those who are strong in fact, but weak in appearance, nor does it fear those who hold authority yet fail to display it. The illusion of control is as vital as control itself, for human nature responds more to what it sees and believes than to what is true. A ruler who masters appearances commands obedience not only through force, but through the unshakable belief that his power is absolute. People judge strength by symbols, gestures, and stories more than by unseen realities. The crown, the throne, the hall of marble and gold. These are not merely ornaments, but instruments of persuasion. They tell the people that their ruler is unassailable, that his authority comes from a source greater than mere chance. Such imagery feeds loyalty, deters rebellion, and shields the ruler from challenges that might arise if his position was seen as vulnerable. Without this illusion, even genuine power is questioned. With it, even fragile authority can endure. Yet appearances alone are not sufficient. They must be supported by carefully staged demonstrations of capability. A ruler must be seen making bold decisions, delivering justice, and rewarding loyalty. He must appear decisive, never hesitant, for hesitation breeds whispers of weakness. When a ruler seems uncertain, his enemies sharpen their knives, and his allies weigh their options. To maintain the illusion of control, he must move with purpose, ensuring that each act projects confidence, even when the reality behind the scenes is filled with uncertainty and calculation. The illusion extends to the handling of information. A ruler cannot allow every truth to become public, for raw reality often invites doubt. Instead, he must shape the narrative, revealing only what strengthens his image while concealing what might diminish it. Victories are to be displayed proudly, losses are to be reinterpreted as strategic retreats, and setbacks must be portrayed as lessons that sharpen his rule. Perception bends truth to serve power, and those who fail to control it become captives of their own missteps. This principle is especially crucial in the management of fear and hope, the twin forces that govern the loyalty of the masses. Fear without hope leads to despair and rebellion. Hope without fear breeds complacency and disobedience. The ruler must ensure that his people fear his wrath enough to obey his commands, yet hope in his leadership enough to believe their obedience will be rewarded. This delicate balance is sustained not by raw strength, but by the appearance of fairness, strength, and inevitability. The belief that his rule is both just and unshakable. Enemies, too, must be subjected to this illusion. Rivals must believe that the ruler's influence reaches beyond what it actually does. They must fear his intelligence network, his alliances, and his readiness to strike, even if these are more limited than they seem. A ruler who convinces his foes that he sees all and knows all prevents conspiracies from forming. For men hesitate to act against a force they believe to be omnipresent. Yet this requires constant reinforcement through calculated displays of strength, swift punishment of dissent, and subtle signs that betrayal will never go unnoticed. The court and inner circle present another challenge, for those who serve closest to power are often the ones most eager to seize it. The ruler must ensure that they see him as irreplaceable, that his vision and authority are so deeply woven into the fabric of rule that no one dares consider his removal. This is achieved through the careful distribution of favor, the rewarding of loyalty, and the maintenance of a certain mystique. A ruler who becomes too familiar, too open, risks losing the aura that keeps ambitious hands from reaching for his crown. The illusion of control also shields a ruler from the chaos of fortune. All leaders encounter setbacks, rebellions, economic troubles, external threats, but these must never appear to diminish their command. In times of crisis, the ruler must project calm, as if he foresaw the storm and has already prepared the remedy. Even when events spiral beyond his grasp, he must stand firm, for perception transforms panic into courage, doubt into faith, and weakness into resilience. Thus, the illusion of control becomes not deception but strategy, a means of ensuring that belief sustains power when brute strength alone cannot for. Strategic purpose. Power without direction is a flame that burns bright but soon consumes itself. The ruler who acts without purpose swayed by whims or driven by fleeting passions, risks scattering his strength across battles that do not matter. Strategic purpose is the art of aligning every decision, every gesture, and every display of authority toward a singular vision, the enduring preservation and expansion of one's rule. It is not enough to possess influence. One must know precisely where to apply it, when to wield it, and to what end it must serve. A ruler who thinks strategically begins by defining what his reign seeks to achieve beyond mere survival. Survival alone is a reactive stance, leaving a throne vulnerable to the ambitions of others. Purpose transforms survival into dominance by providing a guiding principle through which opportunities and threats are measured. It is the compass by which all actions are judged, not by whether they are pleasing or moral, but whether they move the ruler closer to his ultimate objective. Without such clarity, leadership becomes a series of impulsive reactions, and power becomes a weapon swung wildly rather than a scalpel cutting with precision. Strategic purpose requires foresight, the ability to see beyond the moment and anticipate the paths that events may take. A ruler who cannot see the chain of consequences behind a decision is like a gambler throwing dice, leaving his fate to fortune rather than reason. Every alliance, every decree, every punishment must be weighed for the ripple it sends through the kingdom. Will this action inspire loyalty or resentment? Will it strengthen the throne or invite envy? Will it close off future possibilities or open new ones? These questions are not the whispers of doubt, but the calculations of a mind determined to build a legacy that cannot be easily overturned. Emotions must never dictate strategic purpose. Anger may call for swift vengeance, yet vengeance pursued without thought may cost more than it gains. Compassion may plead for mercy, but mercy granted in the wrong moment may embolden defiance. Pride may demand public displays of strength, yet such displays, if excessive, may provoke fear without loyalty. The ruler's mind must remain cold and deliberate, using emotions only as tools to persuade others while never surrendering to their sway. Decisions must serve the long game, not the satisfaction of a passing feeling. Strategic purpose also governs the allocation of resources, political, economic, and military. A ruler who spends freely to display generosity may win admiration for a season, but risks weakening his foundation for the future. Conversely, one who hoards wealth and neglects reward may breed silent resentment among those who sustain his reign. The key is to invest in actions that yield lasting returns, fortifying borders, strengthening alliances, cultivating loyalty among capable lieutenants, and ensuring that the state grows more resilient with each choice. Every resource is a lever of influence, and its use must be measured against the ruler's broader vision. Diplomacy offers another arena where strategic purpose reveals its worth. Alliances, truces, and treaties are not to be formed from friendship or sentiment, but from calculated necessity. An ally may be embraced today and discarded tomorrow if his value diminishes, yet such shifts must be managed with care to preserve the illusion of principle. Promises may be made to buy time, yet they must only be kept when doing so advances the greater design. Trust is a currency, and like all currencies, it must be spent wisely and replenished when possible, always serving the ruler's enduring objectives. Even the appearance of virtue must be guided by strategy. Deeds of mercy, justice, or benevolence must never be random gestures. They must be precise moves on a board where every piece matters. When a ruler pardons an enemy, it must be to inspire loyalty among the undecided, not to satisfy a moral impulse. When he rewards a subject, it must be to encourage others to emulate the loyalty being honored. Every public action must send a signal, reinforcing the idea that the ruler's hand moves not from weakness or hesitation, but from deliberate design. Strategic purpose transforms rule from a reaction to events into the orchestration of destiny. It ensures that every choice builds toward an unshakable future, that every risk taken is calculated, and that every victory achieved paves the way for the next. It does not seek applause, nor does it crave immediate reward. It seeks permanence. 5. The psychology of command. Command is not merely the issuing of orders, it is the art of shaping minds, guiding loyalties, and inspiring obedience without question. A ruler who seeks to command must first understand that men do not follow authority because it exists. They follow because they believe it is necessary, inevitable, and beneficial to do so. The psychology of command lies in cultivating this belief until it becomes unshakable, ensuring that the will of the ruler flows through the actions of his subjects as though it were their own. To command effectively, a ruler must understand the forces that govern human behavior: fear, loyalty, and desire. Fear is the most immediate and primal of these forces, for it drives men to obey when all other motivations fail. A ruler who can inspire fear ensures that defiance carries a price so heavy that few dare to risk it. Yet fear alone is dangerous, for it breeds hatred, and hatred festers until it finds an opportunity to strike. Thus, fear must be balanced with respect, for respect transforms submission into a form of reluctant admiration, softening the edge of resentment. Loyalty, however, is a subtler force, one built not on dread, but on the belief that the ruler serves a greater order in which his subjects have a place. Loyalty grows when men are rewarded for service, when justice appears consistent, and when the ruler's strength promises stability in a world of chaos. But loyalty is not permanent. It must be fed with attention and recognition. Those who give much to the state expect to see their devotion acknowledged. Neglect breeds bitterness, and bitterness, once planted, grows into betrayal. A wise ruler studies his people and his closest advisors, rewarding not only obedience but also initiative, ensuring that loyalty yields tangible rewards. Desire is the most dangerous force of all, for it is endless. Men desire wealth, honor, recognition, and influence, and these desires are rarely satisfied completely. A ruler who understands this does not attempt to extinguish desire. He channels it. He ensures that ambition among his subjects works toward the strengthening of his reign, not its destruction. By granting privileges selectively, by hinting at rewards for future service, and by keeping the highest prizes just out of reach, he ensures that his followers strive ever harder while remaining dependent upon his favor. Desire thus becomes not a threat, but a source of energy that fuels the machinery of command. Beyond understanding these forces, the ruler must master the art of communication. Words carry weight far beyond the moment they are spoken, and a single phrase can inspire courage or ignite rebellion. A ruler must speak as one who commands not only armies but destiny itself, presenting decisions as inevitable and just, even when they are born of pure necessity. The tone must be firm, never pleading, decisive, never uncertain. Declarations must carry the gravity of law, for hesitation in speech suggests hesitation in thought, and hesitation in thought invites doubt in command. Symbols also play a crucial role in the psychology of command. Ceremonies, insignias, rituals all remind the people of the ruler's elevated position, reinforcing the sense that his authority is not merely human, but a force beyond challenge. When subjects see their leader presiding over matters of state with dignity, when they witness him appearing in moments of crisis with calm resolve, they are reassured that their loyalty is well placed. Command is strengthened when authority feels inevitable, when the ruler is perceived not simply as a man, but as the embodiment of order itself. The ruler must also understand the limits of command. Authority that stretches too far risks breaking, for men obey willingly only when commands seem reasonable within the structure of the world they know. Excessive demands breed rebellion, while inconsistent enforcement breeds contempt. The psychology of command, therefore, requires a sense of proportion, knowing when to press hard and when to ease, when to rule with iron and when to rule with velvet. The key is not in issuing constant orders, but in issuing the right ones, at the right time, and with the right display of strength. Finally, the ruler must lead not only through visible authority, but through the unseen influence of expectation. When people believe that their ruler is capable of greatness, they strive to meet his vision. When they believe he is ruthless, they act with caution. When they believe he is fair, they appeal to his sense of justice rather than resorting to defiance. This shaping of thought, subtle and persistent, is the true foundation of command, for it ensures obedience not through coercion alone, but through the alignment of belief. True power begins in the mind. It is forged through the mastery of perception, the balance of virtue and necessity, the illusion of control, the clarity of purpose. and the psychology of command. These principles separate those who merely hold titles from those who shape destiny. If you seek to rise above ordinary thinking and claim the mindset of a ruler, these lessons are your foundation. The throne of influence is not reserved for kings. It awaits those who dare to seize it. Subscribe now for more timeless strategies and deeper journeys into the secrets of power and purpose.